And then you have this beautiful city gate, which we have to go through. And if you should get hungry and you see this on the menu, I would say, I take it. A wonderful dish. Moreška is a dance which is very specifically to Korčula town, Michelin. So if you're into finer dining, you would also find that here. Hi everyone, in today's video I'm gonna show you Korčula Old Town. We just came in with a ferry and now we're gonna explore the Old Town, which is why, I have my luggage on me. Anyway, let's get going and see this beautiful old medieval town. And now we are at the main square, King Tomislav Square. Which is of course where most people will enter the Old Town area. And then you have this beautiful city gate, which we have to go through. So let's go up. And the tower is called the Revelin Tower. And this spot I just like, when they do this with the red flowers. You saw, as I said, Revelin, Tower of the Big Revelin, built in the 14th century, renovated in 2003. So you can get up there. There's some Moreška exhibition out, which is a specific dance native to the Old Town Korčula. So let's just go over here and have a look. No, but we're gonna blend in the map in the video so you can see it. But the very interesting thing is, with the Korčula Old Town, it looks like a fishbone. And now we are basically walking on the main bone in the middle, which is towards the north. So this one goes north-south, and then you have all the bone going down to left and right, east and west, all the way to the end of the Old Town. You see, of course, you have a lot of smaller shops, jewelries, souvenir shops, and a lot of places where you can sit down for a refreshment. And of course, this you cannot miss when you are walking around on a hot day to get an ice cream. And now we are coming up to St. Mark's Square, which is of course the main square in the Old Town. And here you have museums, Town Museum, and you have the St. Mark's Church with the bell tower you can climb. So, and last time I visited, I climbed the bell tower, so I'm not gonna do it again. I will show you the footage from that time, but basically it costs €5 for a ticket. It's not that I don't wanna pay the €5, it's just, it's a very scary stair, and I already done it once, so I don't need to do it again. But from up there, you of course have fantastic view. You see all the roofs of the Old Town, but we're gonna stay down on ground and have a walk around. Let's see what they have to offer here, just to get an idea. Pizzas, okay, they're a bit more expensive than what you would normally find in other places. But okay, you are in the middle of a historical town on an island, so probably it's like supposed to be. So of course, if you say Korcula town, you have to also to say Marco Polo. He's very happy. The history of Marco Polo is in some way attached to Korčula and probably also to Venice. So there's a Marco Polo center here. You can see the flag which is hanging there. You can see the name, and we're just gonna go over and have a look because last time I visited, it was closed. So maybe we are lucky today because I have been up to the tower and I would actually like to go up there again if it's possible. Aha, go to here. Okay, we have 2 arrows, 1 or 2, so we're gonna take, we're just gonna try. I mean, this was basically when he went probably to Asia. I mean, I'm not gonna read you all of this when you visit here. Aha. Probably this artifact he took with him home from the travels. From India. I mean, if this was real, it would probably not be here for a long time. Yeah, so here's an explanation about the Polo family and how they were spread here and in Venice, how the connection was. I think this is a good warning. Crossbow replicas, naval battle. So now we are getting to the part which was the main thing why I wanted to go up, because of course museum. It's too boring if I read everything up. Now you get a small glance of it. I just wanted to show you the view from up here. So visit the museum is something you need to do on your own. And again here, mind your head, because people were a little bit smaller when they constructed these things. So we are lower than the bell tower, so of course the view is the best from the bell tower, but still from here, there's a nice view down of the channel here. You can see Order Beach over there, behind the ship out here. Peninsula Pelješac is what we are looking at. And here you can see sailing boats out in the channel. Korčula is lovely there, but there's so many places. If you travel around in Croatia, there's so many lovely places. But last week we were on island Miljet. What a piece. Unbelievable. Yeah. Oh, that's also, you're gonna love it. Wonderful. Are you going to Polo? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Wonderful place. Yeah. Definitely something to look forward to. Yeah. Have a good trip. Thanks, bye. So let's get back up to the main street so we can finish our trip from south to north. And as you'll notice, we went up. So of course, if you want to explore all the bones of the fish to the side, you're gonna encounter a few stairs, but nothing like Dubrovnik, I promise you that. Souvenirs, yeah. Of course, all the souvenirs is about, half of them is about Marco Polo. So I think, I'm not sure if that one is working. I see the tables up there, but it could be, you know. So the thing is, up there, it used to be a coffee bar where you could get cocktails and you could sit up on the roof of the tower, but I'm not sure if that's still possible. Anyway, now we did south to north. So now we're going to circumvent the old town for you to see how it looks. And this side of it here, which must be the eastern side, is absolutely fantastic. As you see, restaurants, and it's going to continue like that all the way down. So of course, to sit here, lunch table directly at the sea. This chair was here, I think 2008, when I was here with my kids. My kids were sitting in this chair. Maybe they renewed it, but I think it was actually that chair. Fresh mussels in white wine sauce, 18 euro a kilo. I don't know if that's good. Michelin. So if you're into finer dining, you would also find that here in Korčula Town. And of course, the way you get to Korčula, like we did, you come with a fast ferry, either from direction Dubrovnik, or from one of the islands to the south, or you come from Split, Island Var, Island Brač, with a fast ferry to get down here. Then you would end directly in Korčula Town. If you come with a car, you need to travel a different way. There's a ferry from Split to the north end of Island Korčula, and there's a ferry just a little bit outside of Korčula Town in a place called Dubrovnik, which goes to Orbit on the island Pelješac. So two options with a car ferry and fast ferries from many of the islands in Dalmatia, the popular islands, and from Split and Dubrovnik. So now we are almost down at the end. We're just gonna encircle it. So this place here, still not completely like it's supposed to look. I think they had cannons down here back in the days. Now we're in Korčula Town, just outside Korčula Town, but of course Korčula stretches. Along to this side, you have various hotels out there, so you also have a walking path you can follow along the sea all the way out there. And the same goes for the other direction, but the hotels, most of them is in this area. So now we are back where we started, on King Tomaslav Square, because now we're gonna take the western side around the old town. So, and when we passed by the Revelin Tower, we saw there was a sign that there's an exhibition, in the Moreška exhibition. So, as I said, Moreška is a dance which is very specifically to Korčula Town. So that's something they, still practice. And it's a sword dance actually. So during the summer season, there's shows which you can buy a ticket to on the website of the tourist board, and then you can see a sword dance show. And it takes place, we're gonna pass by where most of the time it's done down here. And I think tickets are about maybe 10 euros to see the show, maybe 12, I'm not sure, I didn't check. And this is actually, of course, this is part of the fortification of the town, but today it's used as I think it's a water cistern. So good to reuse the historical things. You don't need cannons, so you can use it for something else. So the square behind this wall here is where they do the shows, and I think it's twice a week in the main season. And here there's beach they need to clean up. Probably it's because the wind is coming in and throwing dirt today, not good. But I've actually seen many people on this beach. Normally it looks in a completely other condition. And of course, if you go a little bit the other direction, you also have beaches. But of course, Korčula Town in itself is not what I would call a beach destination. It would not be my definition. I think if you really want beach days, there's other places on the island. For instance, go out to Lombarda, which is not far from here, maybe 5-8 kilometers. They have some nice beaches. You can go there by bus or bicycle or whatever. And this ferry we just passed by is a ferry which goes to Orbit, and it's very frequent. So if you want to go over to, you know, for whatever reason to have a look at all of it, then easy peasy. So let's go up here. And if you should get hungry and you see this on the menu, I would say, I take it. A wonderful dish. And here we see one of the streets from down to up. One of the bones. And now we're coming down to one of the other towers. And I'm quite excited to see if they finish this one, because they were working on that one last time I was here. It does not look open, so maybe there was a change of plans. They're supposed to be able to get to the top, but it doesn't look like it. Not sure about it.
Well, right next to the
And you see now we are back at the cocktail bar, Massimo. So now we just saw the main street. We went a trip around the town. Now we're gonna go back to the main entrance and see the part of town which is just outside of the old town. So we will be back in a minute. So now we're walking up to the end of the old town on the western side. And if you are in Korčula, the other places, or if you go to KORCULA town, stay here for some days and you want to explore the island, you should definitely go to Lombarda, which I said is very close. But what you could also visit is Villa Luca at the other end of the island, where there's a cave, historical cave, one of the longest mosaics you will find in Europe, I think, maybe even in the world. So that's a few things you could do out there. And of course also generally just going around on the island, there's a lot of wine, places where you can taste wine, if that's something you're into. And of course also bays where you find remote beaches. So I think now we can see it slowly. I wanted to show you the old town from this side, which is a particularly beautiful side. Actually, we should normally walk out to the end of the palms and you should have a look at it from out there, but we're not going to do that today because we are on a schedule. So, but I will definitely recommend to walk out there, have a look at the old town from there. It's a magnificent sight. So on this, we are now outside of the old town area, and I'm just going to show you a little bit on this side here, because there's also some neat little streets, some shops, some restaurants on this side, so you don't have to be in the old town area all the time. You can also go over here and find places to sit down, and several things might be a few euros less. And you have local products, Croatian island products. I see plenty of places where you can sit and eat and drink also here. But you see this also is quite neat, these areas. And up here there's a small park. So this area here, you see now we're in the port area, there's a marina here. You have the bus station, you have various things, and you have apartments up in that area. This is basically Korčula. There's not more to it. You know, you can walk along the coast, bus direction, where you have plenty of apartments, stretches quite far out. But I really can't show you much more. I hope you enjoyed seeing how it looks like here. Please give the video a like, you know, subscribe to our channel, and maybe check out our website to get more information. That's it. Till the next one. Thank you very much.